Sorry, the video died on me. So, the NGO forum, basically, what this kind of talked about was how they're treating the arsenic problem in communities. What's interesting about this is that they're talking about tube wells. And basically, that's like pipes down into the ground, about 2 or 3 pipes, which is like 30, 40 feet, and water sprouts up, but that's the water with the arsenic. So they're working on purifying it and where to get it. And I guess because culturally, and I say this like that because culturally people find that they need to use groundwater instead of surface water because certain surface water is too polluted and it's too this and it's too that. Therefore, they focus more on groundwater. But the groundwater is also killing you. So I don't understand why I don't understand why there's a focus on something that's killing you when you have other options. But I do understand the need to cure that problem. So I do give it respect in the sense that you are handling a situation, but at the same time, you need to look at other options. That was my critique. The water filtration system I was telling you about in another village was incredible in a sense that it's purifying its own water, and there's a river right there. And Bangladesh also has one of the largest surface water populations or inhabitants. Pardon me, I'm not as educated as I should be. But because of the amount of surface water that they have, you would feel as though that they would use that more to their advantage. And the fact that they're not tapping into those sources and they're not trying to get the people to tap into those sources is a little frustrating. And if they are doing it, they're not doing a strong job or they're not reinforcing it the way they should. And I say that because I get it. We're trying to help the Bangla people, the people that have been deprived, the people that no one else is looking at right now. But you cannot always fit the needs of them. And although you need to be very aware of the environment, you also need to be realistic in the sense that this groundwater, the arsenic could get worse. I know people that have been drinking it for years and years and years have cancer. You know, they're gonna die. But the surface water is here. This is a community that has monsoons and floods all the time. All the time. Like June and July is the rainy season. They get feet and feet and feet of water where it rains for 3 days straight. What about rain harvesting? You know, rainwater harvesting. Like, these options really need to be just put out there more. Just because if you're getting 3 feet of water or 2 or a foot of water every time it rains, if you collect all that, a foot of water could be well over a gallon. So you're getting about a gallon of water in each bin, you know? A gallon of water in each bin every time it rains. That could be very excellent. And yesterday it rained all day, you know? So, I mean, I just think that there's other sources you could look into, and there's other sources you should really encourage the people to do. So, the NGO forum sounded like they were doing something, but they weren't doing something. Like, they were doing a great job, and you can tell they're very passionate about what they're doing, but at the same time, they're casting off certain things off. They're casting off certain options on the list because of being now I sound like a jerk, but like being respectful to the people. And I'm not saying that they don't know what's right for them, but what I am saying is that they don't know or they're not aware of the other options. And I think we need to educate as well as solve the problem. And I think that's something that a lot of cultures, or a lot of people really, pardon me, a lot of people don't do. They don't educate. They don't let people know what's going on. They don't give them the resources that they need. And I think that's the biggest problem. And you know what? I'll say this about a lot of faith groups that come into these countries when it comes to AIDS and whatnot. And AIDS and overpopulation, they don't talk about birth control because that's not what they believe in. Okay, that's great. What do you say, abstinence? Like, shut up. Clearly abstinence is not the option for them because they have not been doing it. Like, no. Like, you gotta educate them about safe sex. Point blank. You gotta let people know they have options. You gotta give them the options. And like I say this regardless of how you feel, because I think as a professional, that's what you have to do. You have to put your feelings aside. You, as a Christian, I treat others with God's grace, you know? But I'm not going to sit there and preach the Bible every time they do something wrong. Because it's not my place. It's not. And I feel like, yes, you come there for the Catholic Church, you come there for this, but at the same time, it's not your place to assist in I don't want to say murder, but come on, what else are you doing by allowing people to continue unsafe sex when you know there's other options, when you're in a country that is blessed enough, not saying that these other countries are not blessed, but are blessed enough to have these resources. And that's just me being controversial. That's me